Hello and welcome to Rich and Ben, the Sober Men, the podcast. We are back and it's episode 11 already. My goodness, where does the time go? And Rich, you're back safely in the UK. How was your last few days in Zurich?
Mate, it was fantastic. It's so nice to be home. I think we underestimate how nice it is to sleep in your own bed until you get back into your own bed. But yes, the last few days was fantastic. It was nice. Everyone kind of said their goodbyes, end of contract. Obviously, the people that, you've made bonds with, you'll keep in touch with and stuff. So we all had that kind of, there was a lot of food left over from the hotel because we were all in a part hotel. And there was loads of food. There was loads of food left over, so everyone kind of had like a communal cook-off in the lobby.
Were you offering out the infamous fish finger sandwiches?
No, I'd eaten all my fish fingers, but I had 4 cornettos in a box. So I brought them down. I said, "Listen, you got 10 minutes before these melt, so have them," and they did. But it was quite nice. And then it was it was a relatively early night. I think probably got to bed about 11:30. But there were some. Yeah, still some people sort of having a glass of wine and stuff before they sort of kind of woke up, and I kind of thought to myself, that used to be me. I'd have been having that wine, and then I'd have been drinking probably till 2, 3, 4 a.m. and then try to get 2 hours of broken sleep before getting up for a flight. It was nice to wake up feeling fresh, ready for my flight home, which was smooth actually. It was nice. It's quite a quick flight back from Zurich, so all is good. Loving being home, mate. Loving being back in my own bed, and it's all good. You good?
Really good, yeah. I've had a good week. It's been the bank holiday, which sort of reminded me of how much I used to drink over the bank holiday. It used to be an excuse for, the bank holiday drink-a-thon, wouldn't it? Like 3 days, 3-day excuse, a 3-day pass. Hey, drink as much as you fucking like. Be like ridiculous. So essentially 4 nights, wouldn't it? So it'd be the Friday night, Sunday, Saturday, and Monday, and then of course, you'd start the week again feeling absolutely bloody awful, thinking, you've had this safe cocoon, this safe haven to drink in, forget about your problems. All the anxiety will go. It doesn't matter. I can get drunk for 3 days in a row. Brilliant. Yeah. But everything just amplified, didn't it? Tenfold come the Tuesday when you're back at work, when you're back into life. And so true. It was lovely, actually. I did a couple of shifts, actually, over the bank holiday, but that was great because it was just like earning money and then nice walk with Betty on Monday morning. Yeah. Beautiful morning, thinking, my God, how times have changed. But what so funny, Rich, when you mention, people having their last night, drinks, glasses of wine. With us, it would probably be a bottle of wine, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But my God, that became the obsession, more so than getting your bloody clothes into your suitcase, getting your passport ready for the flight home. Yeah. If you were touring internationally, it'd be like, oh God, where can I get my booze from for the party?
Yeah.
Just ridiculous, isn't it? Talk about getting your priorities wrong. And I remember I got so drunk one night we were in Dublin and we had apartments there. And I vaguely remember somebody challenging me to throw a watermelon over like a subsidiary of the Liffey. And I just remember chucking this watermelon and I got it over this little canal thing. I should have been representing England in the shot put at the Olympics. But I just remember the next morning getting into the cab. I'd had that awful thing of probably like 2.5 hours sleep, woke up absolutely steaming, absolutely rancid, just awful. And even a Dublin cab driver went, Jesus, mate, did you have a good night?
Yeah.
And I must have stank. And I just remember that awful flight back, sobering up mid-flight.
Yeah.
Just awful, isn't it? But I'm so happy for you. You are home, mate. You've worked so hard. You're home to your beautiful wife. And you've done it and you're sober. Is it just nice knowing that you've achieved so much in the past year and you're home, you're sober, feeling good, ready for the next chapter?
It's true, and it's nice. And when I look back over this kind of the contract, the last sort of year and a half since I've been doing the shows, there's a lot more has been achieved in that time than it would have been previously. And I'm sure that's the same with say anyone that goes on a business trip or is abroad or whatever. If you've got a clear head and you've got kind of some sobriety behind you, you're more inclined to not just drink the time away, and you're actually going to get up in the morning and be productive. And I've been back like a couple of days now, and Jem said, listen, take this week, just relax, watch your TV and just, you can have a lie-in if you want. But I think because I'm not struggling with hangovers and late nights anymore, even after just being home yesterday was just a relaxing day. Today I was like, I knew we were recording the pod, but I was thinking, right, what can I get done during the daytime today? And Jem was like, just relax. Like, it's like, you're on a holiday for a bit now. Just relax yourself. But it kind of, I now need to sort of remind myself to relax. And I think it's because I've spent so many years just wasting my time, just kind of drinking, partying, and then the days were kind of a write-off. So I feel like I'm kind of making up for lost time, like all the time. So I kind of have to be reminded sometimes, just relax. It's okay. You've been working hard. You've been away. Just relax. But it is lovely to be back. Get a wash on, clean sheets on the bed, just standard stuff. That's like it's so enriching. Do you know what I mean?
And
now
those things are just marvelous. Like you said on a previous episode, just making your bed. I remember coming back from tours and just craving, just beans on toast, a bit of Antiques Roadshow, just like happiness, just fantastic. But Rich, you might not be that quiet for too long, because I heard something today that I thought, this is a challenge for me, old mucker Rich.
Right.
Have you heard of the Flat Pack World Championships?
No, I haven't.
So this could be your next thing, right? So I listened to it on the radio this morning. Not the championships. Can you imagine? BBC 5 Live, 8 hours of flat pack making. But yeah, it's mentioned on the BBC Two Breakfast Show, and I did a little Google. Yeah, and a woman. It was held at Excel in London at the Flat Pack World Championships. She's the reigning champion. She won. She made a bedside table from flat pack in 8 minutes.
Is this serious? Is this a serious thing?
No, this is serious. I know you like your carpentry and you're a man of the wood, so to speak. But yeah, and what made me laugh was the heat. They had to make a bookcase, and then it progressed to a bedside table in the final. But she won it. 8 minutes.
8 minutes. That's quite impressive, isn't it?
Bloody hell. God, I had to make a bed once when we moved our house up to Liverpool. Rita ordered the bed. It arrived. Probably about 6 hours later, I was halfway through it. She found me foaming at the mouth, listening to the Lighthouse Family. Honestly, I was cooked. I was like, I can't do this.
It can be. I prefer seeing something like having a look on Pinterest or something on Instagram and going, I'm going to have a go at making that, but myself. So like going across to Wicks, getting the wood. Like I built a couple of benches for our balcony here where we live. And I thought to myself, I'm going to build that from scratch, because then there's no blueprint and whatever. It's kind of just make it up as you go along.
It's bespoke, isn't it?
It is. With the flat pack stuff, honestly, it drives me insane. I remember I had some furniture from Next once, and it came, and I was building it, mate. The door was shut, and I was like, there was blood all over the way. I cut my hands and my arms and stuff, and I was like, and then you just hear from the other side of the door, you just hear me shouting, "There's no fucking screw for this bit! What the fuck?" Like, and honestly, it was a disaster. So it meant when me and Jem got our new wardrobes for our house here. Mate, I paid someone to come and do it. And I tell you what, I'm glad I did. Mate, I'm glad I did, because it was a Sunday. Bless this guy. He turned up at like 11. He was there till 9 o'clock at night on a Sunday.
You're joking.
I mean, he made them. He made them beautifully. Yeah. But that was flat pack furniture, and I'm like, mate, I'd still be doing it now. I'd still be making it now, and it was a year ago. Do you know what I mean? If that was me, so I.
Well, I love the fact you made the 2 bespoke ones, and in all seriousness, isn't it great to have a little project, especially in sobriety? Like, that just keeps you occupied, keeps you going, and just a little go-to almost. I know you love your footy, Rich, but I think that's great, and just those little hobbies are so important, I think, aren't they?
I agree. It's just having a bit of purpose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because also what I do like about that kind of thing is that, like, it might take you 2 or 3 days to build something, but you want to get up in the morning and carry on with it. You know what I mean? Because it's like you get your back sore by 7 o'clock at night. If you've been on it all day, and I'm like, I'm going to have a shower now, have a bath or whatever. But then what happens is you get up the next day and you're like, great, I'm halfway through. And then it comes to painting. It's, it's fulfillment, isn't it? It's the things we always say in sobriety. It's those little tiny things that give you that little bit of fulfillment. And then it enriches you. You feel happy. And you feel like you've completed it. Tasks completed are important. It's stuff that we would never do when we were drinking.
It's just a nice little achievement, isn't it? Well, in that case, then I'll rip up our application form for next year's event.
I'd go and watch it. I'd go and watch it with you. It'd be quite interesting. It's just that I'd be sitting there going,
Jem and Rita, where the fuck are you two off to? What? Ooh.
I thought you were telling me that and it was a joke to start with, but clearly it wasn't. So,
honestly,
yeah.
I know my jokes are bad, but no, this was for real. I just thought I've got to share this with Rich and the listeners. My goodness. Well, Rich, you're looking really good, mate. And seriously, as a pal, welcome back. And you listen to Jem because you deserve it. Have some quiet time. Enjoy that coffee. Enjoy some nice walks.
I appreciate it. Shall we see who's in the frame this week?
Yeah, Rich. Well, we had Tom Holland last week, and it's so interesting. We get a real good plethora of people, haven't we, over the 11 episodes so far? We got Anthony Hopkins, Samuel L. Jackson. So, Rich, who have you got for us this week?
So this week, I thought I didn't know about this. Actually, I didn't know that this person was sober, and yeah, I found his story really interesting, actually. So as we always say, when we're in the studio, we have a lovely picture frame on the coffee table, don't we? We have this, the person that we choose each week is in the frame. It's someone that we find inspiring, that's got a great story to share, and someone that we can have that's the focus of the episode. And today, in that frame, which is the digital frame because we're still remote, is swimmer Michael Phelps. Did you know Michael Phelps was sober, Ben?
No, I did not. My goodness.
Yeah.
And was that was his drinking escalating during competing?
It was. So one of the reasons that I wanted to choose him as well is because we've both got big feet. He's got bigger feet than us. Did you know that? He's got size 14 feet. 14? I never knew. Yeah, I mean, we've both got size 12. He's got size 14 feet. Obviously, he's a 28 Olympic medal winner. 28 medals he's won. Yeah, like massively decorated, more than anybody else.
Was one of them for having the biggest feet in the world?
Possibly. But what was interesting about his story is that obviously he's a hugely decorated Olympian, 28 medals, as I said, but not immune to addiction and struggle. And he struggled with drinking, and it got worse and worse, progressive, as it does, as we've discussed before. And he entered rehab in 2014, 2015. And he struggled with rehab to start with, and he couldn't get to grips with it. And then he finally sort of committed to it, and it helped him. And he said he was going to stay sober for the 2016 Olympics, which he did. Now, the information that I read was a little bit vague after that. So it's possible that he had a relapse after that, but has now since been sober since 2018.
Amazing.
And he's also worked with organizations like Talkspace to advocate for like mental health awareness, sort of breaking that stigma. And he describes now his life post rehab and in sobriety as a dream come true. So it just goes to show that like whatever level you're at, and like whatever successes you may have in your life, it doesn't discriminate. You can still struggle. You can still have problems, and you can still really find yourself in a dark hole that you feel that you can't get out of, which he did. And he managed to find his way out through rehab and friends. And and I think he has suffered with some mental health issues as well. So he's managed to get on top of that, and is obviously still celebrated as an enormously decorated Olympian. And that he was someone that I didn't know had those struggles, because you would think, his life, he's an athlete. It's about he needs to keep himself and his body. His body's a temple, competing at that level all the time. But it made me feel quite sad reading it, because I'm like, he's so celebrated and so successful, and yet struggled so much and managed to find a way out of it, as you can do. As we always say, it is possible to build a better life. And it doesn't matter. I'm sure he sat in rehab and thought, it doesn't matter that I've won 28 medals. That doesn't matter. In my brain, inside my head, I'm really struggling and I'm falling apart. And that facility helped him get his life back on track. And I just thought to myself, he'd be a great person to have in the frame this week.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. And what courage, celebrated Olympian, and to take that step, thinking, I need help here. And we know in the creative world, but I can imagine it's equally as pressured in the sporting world, like elite sport, elite business, if you're in business, that, the ups and downs, the swells of success and failure, the pressure on you to constantly deliver must be extremely hard to cope with daily. I know personally from my acting career, I could have an amazing year, then nothing. How do you deal with that? And, it could have been similar for Michael Phelps. interestingly, post-career as well, when that routine has gone, that can be a struggle, can't it? So
Yeah.
again, I think just amplifies the importance of family and loved ones, and having the ability to make a bench like you, just having that. Do you know what I mean though? Just having that routine, that little platter, something away from your job, from that work environment that can help you. But yeah, you just think, I mean, what an athlete he must be that he conquered and has dealt with that problem. Huge kudos to him.
Absolutely. And also, like I said, working with organizations like Talkspace, giving back as well. We always talk about being of service and helping someone else, getting out of your own head. So he got himself sorted with help. And so he gives that help back as well, which is hugely admirable. And that's something that we always advocate on the podcast, isn't it? That get yourself out of your own head, because, the disease of addiction and problems with drinking and taking drugs and stuff, it's a very lonely and it's very isolating, it's a very selfish place. But once you get through the other side, what continues to help you is helping other people, so, and to show that you've been there and you've made those changes, it can also help show other people, and also continues helping you stay clean and sober as well. So yeah, big up Michael Phelps in the frame this week.
I often find when I hear about other people, it gives me like a little hint or a little tip to help with my sobriety as well. Yeah. And we know that you love this section as well, all our listeners and viewers. So thank you for all your comments, and, do continue to send them in. Don't forget, we're at the sobermenpod@gmail.com. But Michael Phelps, wow. And size, I can't get over the fact he's got size 14 feet. Wow.
Size 14 feet. It's one of the reasons I quite like to visit America, because I can try on shoes that are too big for me, which never happens in the UK. Normally I'm like, have you got a size 12 in these? Sorry, yeah, they only got to size 10. I'm like, well, some people have size 12 feet. Yeah. Please, can you legislate for that as well? Which they often don't do. So shall we get on to today's sort of, discussion points? And today I thought to myself, it would be fair to say that it's important to realize, as I think we've said it before, that nobody is perfect, even in recovery, right? So I thought today's talking point should be progress, not perfection. What do you think about that, Ben?
I think it's great. I think in the world we live in, even though I know I shouldn't do this, when I'm feeling a bit low, a bit under par, a bit short of confidence, I fall into that trap of seeing what other people of my ilk are up to, other people in the sporting world or the acting world or the even the podcasting world, and you think, oh God, and you can feel your heart go. My anxiety starts to appear again. It's like, hello, I'm back again. You remember me from the drinking days? I'm like, oh, fuck off, you little fucker. Yeah. But you can't help but sometimes be pressured to push yourself to where you think you want to be. And if you're not in that position to do that mentally, or you're having a bit of a dip, a bit of a low time, it can be so hard to look online. It's there in front of you, isn't it? And we're all guilty of just scrolling when we're a bit bored, essentially. And it can be fatal, because you can't help but think, oh God, they're succeeding, they're doing this or they're doing that, why aren't I? And putting that pressure on yourself, which can add to your anxiety. And of course, that's not their real life. No. We enthuse about our sobriety, but we've both said on the podcast, Rich, quite openly, we've had tough times.
Yeah.
And we'll continue to have tough times, but we now have the things in place, those little steps where we can get through those. We can plow through those moments. But when you see people who you think are really succeeding, yes, of course there might be, but it's not all it's made out to be, is it? And that's very hard to fall into that trap of just like, oh God, I'm becoming a failure here. And it's that pressure, and it can be draining when you look scrolling away, and it might not even be work related. You could be seeing your neighbors or friends posting something, if you follow them, and seeing their supposed success, and it's not all true, is it?
No, it's true. And I think, like, comparing yourself, I think, like you just said, we are always advocating for healthy lifestyle, for sobriety and that kind of thing on our socials. But I think if you follow those pages, as we do, a lot, we follow a lot of recovery people, a lot of healthy lifestyle people, once you start comparing yourself to like what would be deemed as like perfect recovery people, only one thing will happen: you'll fall off the wagon and you'll start drinking again, because you will think to yourself, I haven't got what what they've got. It doesn't feel for me like it clearly feels for them. And I
Yeah.
think that can keep you feeling stuck. And so I think it's important to go day by day, bit by bit, minute by minute, literally second by second if you have to. Every little step forward without having a drink, regardless of what you're watching on social media, YouTube, whatever, it's a step forward and you're progressing. It's not perfect. We're not perfect.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect. No one you see on social media is perfect. No one giving you, healthy lifestyle tips. No one giving you recovery lifestyle tips. They're not perfect. They can help you. And you can take a few little Easter eggs and a few little nuggets of information that continues to help you. But I just wanted to talk about it being important to not compare yourself completely to those people, because it will end in disaster, because you can never match what you see. And that's the same with, we talk about social media a lot, don't we? Someone's new house, someone's new garden, someone's new car. It's important to not compare your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlights, isn't it? Because the work you're putting in behind the scenes is what's progressing you and what is helping you. And what you're seeing is like, the end result, the culmination of it a lot of the time on social media. And I think it's important to remember, and it's the same for me. It's important for me to remember, as you've just said as well. I will see people that have, got all kinds of like, ostentatious lifestyles. And, this is because I'm sober. This is because I did this. And I'm like, wow, well, I don't have that. I'm still just working hard and just kind of job and actor, and just like, I've got some nice things, but also things can be tough and I can struggle. Everyone's on their own path. Every little day that you step forward where you don't take a drink is progress. And I think that's important. What do you think?
I agree with you massively, Rich. Well, I love what you said then. Just grab those little nuggets off people that you want to on social media. Grab those little pointers, but listen to your mind.
Yeah.
And who decided, who in the bloody world decided that social media and our acceptance of it is a route to real happiness?
Yeah.
It's crazy. We know when we're happy. I know when I'm happy, and it's not if I'm even acknowledging somebody on social media. It's when I'm out for a lovely walk, when I'm sat with a coffee in my peace and calm, when I'm scratching whatever on the sofa watching the footy on a Saturday night. That's the happiness. And it's very hard, of course, not to be influenced by what we see, what we absorb in contemporary life. But if you can remember what makes you happy, and I think deep down as educated humans, we know that feeling of happiness comes from, and it goes back to other episodes, like the love of our families, that time in sobriety when we can be present with our friends and family, the joy of conversation, being present in the moment. We say it so many times, and not garnering fulfillment or faux fulfillment from social media. And of course there are some wonderful advocates on social media of sobriety, some wonderful people, but like you said, Rich, they can't be that up all the time, because that's just not human nature. They do what they can to help people, just as we do, but it's very difficult, but so important to remember that what happens in your present sphere, in your present life, in sobriety, that's going to build your happiness. That's going to build your confidence back up and your ability to cope with life. The small wins, the small pleasures of having that coffee, getting into bed with fresh sheets like you've done after, now you're home, Rich, and not just diving into social media for what you think is going to give you enjoyment, when actually that's not real enjoyment or satisfaction. I really believe it's those things that we used to have in abundance before, digital phones and social media. How quickly we forget just the joys of sitting and dicking about with your mates and just getting your enjoyment that way. And So it's very tricky because we use social media as a vehicle for the podcast, Rich, and people use it for their messaging in the sobriety world. But if you can just remember that, yes, it's good to absorb some things, but exactly as you said, Rich, you can just take those little nuggets, those little Easter eggs, I think you called it, which I think is fantastic, and just, pop those into the grey matter to use and absorb when you need to. But just listen to your mind, because you will know the things that make you happy. Don't put pressure on yourself. If you're sober and you're embarking on sobriety and you've just had a nice walk to pick up the paper, that to me is a huge win. That's so smile inducing,
Don't fight unrealistic expectations. I mean, you've just got to, everyone's on their own journey. And, it's sometimes progress can be just staying sober and surviving the day.
Yeah.
That is progress. It doesn't mean like, oh, I've got sober and look at my mansion. Oh, I'm sober and look at my Ferrari. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean that. Or like, suddenly I've got a six pack and rippling biceps. It doesn't mean that. Progress is just day by day, staying sober, staying away, protecting yourself from taking that first drink, as we've always said, because once you take that first drink, then all bets are off. That is sometimes progress. And I just thought it was important for us because we, like you just said, we do use social media, and the good thing about social media is that we've been able to reach a lot of people that enjoy the podcast and can hear us talking about our journeys. And just, as we've always said, we haven't got it all worked out. We're talking about our journeys and the things that we did and the things that help us and continue to help us and the things we still have to work on. So I just think it's important that we talked about that today, and everyone's progress. So it's sometimes, as I say in the fellowship, actually, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. It will always, it will always happen if you work for it. Do you know what I mean? And that's the key, I think, to this particular conversation, because people get put off. They could be put off by it.
Yeah, and they can think, oh, I'm losing this battle here, when they're not. And if in early sobriety, for instance, if you're struggling and you've just made it through the day, another day, I guarantee you'll get that little glow in your belly, in your heart, when you do get into bed. And, it's, yes, you're safe under your duvet and, feeling all cozy, but it's like, also mentally, it's like a nice little feeling of, I've done this. I can do this, and tomorrow is another day. And, and I would say as well, just try and keep your phones away from your bed. I've been guilty of it, but it's so easy to lose yourself into the window of someone else's faux life late at night before bed or first thing in the morning. So if you are in sobriety and you've had a tough day, but you've got into bed and you've done another day without alcohol or drugs, give yourself a little pat on the back, because you've done it, and then you're going to be feeling so much better the following morning. And tomorrow is a new day. So, but I think it's so important that we do remember that sobriety is very, very difficult. And you're allowed to have tough days, because, my word, it can be really tough. But just know, my goodness, in the long term, be it the end of that day or the end of that week or the end of that month or year, you're going to be feeling so much happier. And that has got to be a great thing.
Yeah, it's so true. And, as you said, like if you have a bad day, sort of setbacks, even relapses, do you know what I mean? Like setbacks don't erase progress. So they don't erase. You don't go back to square one. You listen. Sometimes it's a learning curve, and you need that, because that's what actually catapults you forward. And having a bad day or having a problem or not being as far along as you thought you should be, or as someone else is, that doesn't define who you are. You've got to keep going and give yourself a little bit of a break, because progress is often patience, isn't it? You've got to be patient, and it's and I think as an addict for myself, I know that patience is not one of my virtues. Honestly, like it really isn't. I want and I have to continue to tell myself not to think like this. I want everything and I want it now. You know, I got a day sober. No, I want a year sober. But you have to wait. It's patience. And that time spent moving forward little by little. It's the tortoise and the hare thing, isn't it? Do you remember that from school? The race of the tortoise and the hare. Eventually, you'll be glad that you took that time. And if you have a setback, that's okay. You know, you can't, that sort of guilt of messing up can lead to further destruction, can't it, at the end of the day? And you don't
you can just beat yourself up, can't you? And very
and then you just
slip back into the
you slip back into it.
I'm really interested to hear your take on this, Rich. But you know, obviously, I'm so proud of my sobriety, so proud, and I work so hard. Like, I don't even want a single drop of alcohol ever again, not even in my food.
Yep.
And I was just thinking, like, you know, and I'm so anal now. If I am out, which is pretty rare, as we've discussed, but I'll ask for a zero beer. But I just say I'll just have the bottle because I want to see. I need to read the bottle before I have that sip of a zero beer.
Yeah.
And I just wondered because sometimes I think, oh, they've got like a mocktail. I think they are all zero gins when I'm out. And sometimes I think, oh, that might be quite different to have a try mix it up a bit. But I would be so mortified because in my head, the chances of the barman making a mistake and just giving you a gin, and of course, even one sip, I would taste that and I would beat myself up so much. It's kind of, it's crazy. Even though it's not my fault, I would be heartbroken. But then exactly what you said, that's out of my control, isn't it? And also think of all the groundwork I've put in to get to that point. Like people who do relapse, I guess, they don't lose those weeks, months, years of reprogramming their mind, do they? Working so hard for a better life. I just wondered what your take, like, how would you feel if I would be mortified if I had a little sip by mistake of alcohol? How would you navigate that? Have you ever thought about that?
Well, it's quite ironic you said that because that happened to me on my stag actually. So what happened? Yeah. So what happened was it was the end of the last meal on the last day. We all went out for a nice meal, and I was just on. I think I was on the orange juice or Coke Zero or something, and they brought shots out for everyone, like sort of, I guess they bring out like limoncello, that kind of thing, don't they? But it was a special Spanish shot. I don't know what it was, but they said, oh, we've got one for you that is non-alcoholic. And I was like, okay, I wasn't sure I was going to trust it, to be honest. But when it came out, I got mine, I put it to my lips and I smelt it and I went, that's got alcohol in it. I knew.
Did you?
Yeah, I knew.
God.
And I went, that's got alcohol in it. I get it to my friend and he went, oh mate, I'm so sorry. Has it really? I'm like, yeah. And he said, he tried, he went, yeah, that's got alcohol in it. He went back to the lady, and the lady who ran the restaurant, she went in the kitchen and she just went hell for leather at her husband. You've done this. And he's like, I'm sorry. And then they said, I'm sorry. And then they said, oh, I'm sorry. Is he Muslim? Is that why he's not drinking? I'm like, no, it's not. I literally, I'm in recovery. I don't drink. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I just had like a sort of orange juice at that point at the end. So it wasn't, so it very nearly, but I knew just from the smell. And I'm exactly the same as you. I have to look at the bottle, make sure if I'm having a 0.0, it's a 0, not even a 0.5, to be honest, because some of them are like 0.5 because there may be traces. Like I don't even have that. I just want to be completely abstinent. That's my program. That's what I follow. But in answer to your question, to your point, if I accidentally took a drink and it had alcohol in it and I was to swallow it, I would be okay with myself because I know A, that wasn't my fault, B, it wasn't a choice of mine, and C, I know that it's not going to change my mindset because I'm confident and I'm strong in my recovery and I have the tools to look after myself. I would be a bit like, oh, for fuck's sake, because I've literally not had anything for like nearly 5.5 years. So I would be a little bit disappointed. But I would look at it as an accident and something that was out of my control. Had I decided to take that myself and go, I'm just going to have one sip. Now that would be a different story.
Yeah. Have you ever been close to that, Rich?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
No,
well done,
I haven't.
mate.
I haven't.
You know
I
what? I
haven't wanted to.
haven't. I
Yeah.
haven't.
And I think you get to that point where you just don't want to. I thought of it the other day. I thought to myself, I can't even really remember what it's like to feel. You know, you have that first pint and you go, it gives you a little bit of a head. Like, yes, I'm aware of what that was like, but I can't really remember the feeling of that. And I have to be honest, I wouldn't, like, back in the day, I would have taken any drug, I would have drunk any drink, I would not have cared, right? Now it scares me. It, like, to have a drink, if I had to drink, someone said, like, gun to your head, you drink this pint of beer, it would scare me because I feel like I'm cleaner on the inside now, and I don't want to have that in my body because I'm scared of what it will do to my mind. I don't want that feeling. I don't want to feel out of control. And that was the complete opposite in my hedonistic days because I was drunk, high, party, whatever. And now I don't want that. But if I'd made that choice to take a drink, that would change things for me because I know that I wouldn't lose all my 5 years of recovery per se, but I would have to go back to the big book and I'd probably have to retrace the steps because I go, well, what did I do? What was it about my mind? What was it that made me not feel protected? So I would have to do my work again. And I would have to start actually from day one again of being sober. I wouldn't be able to say I've been sober for that amount of time because I would start again. And I don't want to go back to that point. I'm proud of my sobriety. And again, I as we said before, it doesn't matter whether you're a minute, an hour, a day, a week, year, 5 years. Be proud of that. Be proud of that moment because you've done the work and you've got yourself to that point. And so that should never be underestimated. For those of us that have struggled with it, even an hour a day, a week, it's to yourself. Don't walk around going, "Hey everyone, I'm a week sober." Like you can. It doesn't have to be as out as that. You can be proud of that yourself. Get your head down and work hard. But I think sometimes relapse can be part of recovery. For some people that I've encountered, relapse is what kickstarted them into the next phase, which gave them that and they might not have learned the things they've learned had that relapse not happened. I'm not going to advocate for relapse and say, oh, it's important to relapse. I don't think that it's something you should do, but it happens. And I would never, like, for argument's sake, say you turn around to me and said, Rich, I've fallen off the wagon. I had a bottle of wine last night. I would not going to turn around and go, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, you fucking idiot. But I'll go, mate, I'm here for you. Let's unpack it. Let's talk about it. Let's start again. Let's see what happened and why. Because it's finding the reasons why, and you might go, oh, I don't fucking know why. Oh, why it just happened. I just want it. But there will be a reason. So
there's a reason.
Often that decision. Often that decision may have been made a week before, 2 weeks before. Something may have happened and there be a slow build. But it's like we always say in recovery, I'm never going to turn anyone away for having a relapse or having a problem or I will always try and help that person to get back on the right track and to try and move forward. And you don't always have to go right back to the very start because there will be a lot of stuff that you would have already have learned in your sobriety. Do you know what I mean? Which you can still use moving forward. You just will start afresh on the next day and we'll start again. But it's hard because you can often be consumed with the guilt of messing up again, and there are setbacks, there are bad days, life is going to happen, but do what you can. Just do what you can, because if you want it, you can get there. That's what I would say.
It's testament to the work that so many of our community do in working so hard on their sobriety to be better, to be happier, to live more filling lives, isn't it, Rich? That we know that we've done the work where we don't think about, oh, I wonder what that would be like to have a drink. And, I think that is so great. But we must also remember, as you rightly said, Rich, everybody's so different that somebody's relapse there would be a reason, there would be a cause, but then exactly that could propel them to another beautiful stage of sobriety. So everybody is different, but there are so many lovely little core spines to sobriety that can help us, and that is just remembering what makes you happy, remembering your support network, and the importance of having the boundaries, and just remembering that if you ever did, and I need to, this is great for me, another great conversation for me, and a good reminder for me, Rich, that if I did by mistake have a sip of booze, it's not my fault, because it's not me in my head. My big old bonce here, covered in fake tan, giving me the impetus. I'm not driving that decision, and that's the work that we put in sobriety, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so true. And on your recovery journey, you and anyone that's listening, you will have come further than you think you have, and you will never achieve total perfection in your recovery journey. No one works a perfect program. I don't, Ben, you don't, anyone listening doesn't, a celebrity recovery advocates, no one is perfect, but everyone is progressing a little bit. And in your progress of your journey, you will have come further than you think you have. And that should be celebrated. And I think it's important to celebrate the small wins, isn't it? Like if you minimize your progress and you're like, oh, it's only been 3 weeks, or I should be further along, other people are doing better, that's gonna keep you trapped, isn't it? Instead of going, do you know what, I've never had 3 weeks sober before, or like I'm here with and this person's doing that, but to be honest, I never thought I'd get to this point. And do you know what I mean? Like, it's flipping it on its head and being proud of your progress. Do you know what I mean? And that can often mean, those small wins means showing up for someone.
And what I love as well, Rich, it's through sobriety and not having the booze and the drugs flying around your head, flying around your body all the time, just wreaking havoc in your life. You freed your mind up to be able to start that shift in mindset, aren't you? To think that instead of like being a sluggish, negative person that I was for so long, and grey and just no spark, that instead of thinking, your cup's half full, it's not half empty. 3 days sober is amazing. We get messages from people who have just listened to an episode when we first launched the series, Rich, and now they're like 2-3 weeks into sobriety, and it's so heartwarming because it's early days for them, but how amazing that they've had the courage to take that step and make a start. And it fills me with absolute joy, honestly.
It does me as well, because we're witness to the progress there. We're witness to seeing that from an email that we might get where someone's a day or 2 days sober, from them writing in again, which often happens, going, just letting you know, guys, I'm now I'm a month sober. And we always write back and we always say, this is absolutely amazing, because we've been at that point, and we work hard to make sure we don't regress. Do you know what I mean? Like, we try, but we're aware that if that happened, we'd keep going and start again. But we've seen what it's like to be at that point. And it excites me because I know where someone that's writing into us a day or week or 3 weeks in, I know the excitement that they're going to feel when they keep going, because we've gone through that process ourselves. And it's so rewarding and fulfilling. And there is such a beautiful life, and it sounds cheesy and I don't mean it to be, but there is such a beautiful, peaceful, calm life to live where you don't have to destroy yourself with drink and drugs, honestly. And I was at that point where I was fucking gonna kill myself with drink and drugs, and I'm so glad that didn't happen. And I found this recovery journey because it brought me to this point where I'm able to share my story and hopefully resonate with other people that can be on their own recovery journey and get further along where they want to be. As with you, Ben, I mean, 3 years, just over 3 years now for you, like seeing, I remember when you would post some pictures of yourself on the social media and you go, this was me before, this is me now. The difference just aesthetically is enormous, isn't it? Because you look, you as you said in the pictures, you said you look tired and drawn, and now you I mean, you're a very handsome man. Obviously, I mean, you were handsome then, but also not only just the aesthetic, how you're feeling on the inside. We can see that. And we know that's what's possible, and that's why progress day by day, week by week, that we're witnessing in other people is so beautiful.
Well, it's the inner glow you get, that the inner feeling of happiness just exudes from your body when you're sober, and that is attractive to people. It's such a full, wholesome feeling. It's unbelievable. And when I look at the difference now, it's crazy. I was showing somebody at work. I've been filming today, actually, showing somebody at work. And interestingly, it prompted a conversation with this lady. She was like, oh, look at the difference in your skin and your eyes. I was like, it's crazy, isn't it? And it's because I stopped drinking. But what is crazy, another bonkers Ben moment, how nuts and ironic that the joy and probably the biggest high we've both got in our life is through our sobriety and working on that and the happiness it gives us, as opposed to the what we thought would give us the biggest high is necking booze and taking whatever at a party. It's nuts, isn't it? That actually the biggest, most purest joy has come from quitting alcohol, from saying goodbye to drugs, hasn't it? It's unreal. And what is so interesting as well, how your mindset can change and have that little shift in mindset, where you think, oh God, I'm feeling awful, to like, oh, I'm a day sober, I'm 2 days sober. Just what comes with that as well. So many little, subtle changes, aren't there, Rich, in your life that can, just fuel more energy and more purpose in your life. I've mentioned anxiety being reduced massively, but there are plenty of others, aren't there? Sleep, for instance.
Yeah, it's true. And it just revitalizes your self-worth. And if you are genuinely trying to stay sober and making that effort and making yourself available, you're already progressing without you realizing it, aren't you? You really are. And sometimes I think progress sometimes is just quietly not giving up. You know what I mean? You just keep going, and there's so many benefits to it, as you've just outlined there, Ben. And I just think it's keep at it, people. That's what I would say. Again, as we always say, we're not telling people what to do. We're not saying you should do this, but we're just suggesting, as people suggested to us, if you do these few things, these little things, you'll progress and the wheels will turn and you'll get quicker and quicker and you'll get more and more clean and sober time behind you. And it'll just be a wonderful journey. Yeah. Would you agree, Ben?
I would completely agree. But just remember, always listen to yourself, because you will know what is making you happy. You will know what is helping you have that shift in mindset. You will know what is helping you in your sobriety journey. We are all completely different. And just remember as well that it's okay to have a really shit day. They're going to happen.
Yeah.
They're completely going to happen. But how great you've got the joy of sobriety to be able to deal with it. And the subtle changes. But for me as well, the sleep thing as well. I've another busy week here, Rich, ahead of me, but I'm sleeping, and it gives you that like natural fuel, doesn't it, to crack on with life. It's unbelievable, really.
It's true. It's those little subtle changes that happen without you realizing it. Like I've never been a morning person, but now I wake up and I actually want to get up. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, of course. There's days when you're like, oh God, I need another hour. But that was something I didn't expect to garner from sobriety. Like tiny little things like that you go, oh, I actually can get up in the morning and I'm okay. Actually making the effort to. I won't order a takeaway. I'll cook something and having the energy to do it. It's those tiny little things that I didn't realize until you look back and you go, I didn't used to do that when I was drinking and taking drugs. I wouldn't do it. I just order Uber Eats, McDonald's, because I just had to eat something because I hadn't eaten for 2 days. You know what I mean? It's those kind of.
I think I'll order something on Uber Eats, but then chuck in a bottle of wine with that just for the hell of it.
Yeah, exactly.
A waste of money, just lazy living. And it's so true about, if you just cook your own food, it's lovely, but you just forget that should be the norm when you're drinking. And when you rediscover those little norms, those little little things in your life, you just think, oh, I'm living here. I'm doing okay.
And that is progress, isn't it? Fantastic. I enjoyed that conversation. Looking at progress, not perfection. Shall we have a little drink of the week? So this week, for anyone that's new to the pod, we have a little drink of the week every week. Obviously, we don't drink alcohol anymore, but we do like to find ourselves nice, refreshing beverages that we can kind of discuss and tell you guys to go and have a try of possibly when you're listening to the pod in the park. So this week's drink of the week, Ben, I'm going to take you all the way back to your childhood here, right?
Oh,
and this was something
it's a long time ago.
This was something that my wife Jem really wanted for a long time, and I got her this for her birthday. It was last year, I believe, but I don't really use this that much. But I thought, you know what, this will be a great drink of the week. So Ben, drink of the week this week is from SodaStream. Do you remember SodaStream?
Oh yes, I do. My mate Gavin Jackson had one. His dad owned the car showroom. I was so jealous. I was always round at Gavin's house,
mate. So now. It's Miranda SodaStream. So basically what this is,
God, look at that. It's like from outer space.
So mate, I'll tell you what, they still do them and you can get them. Now the gas for a SodaStream is quite expensive. But what I thought to myself is that, do you know what? The amount of money I used to spend on booze and on drugs, to spend 15 quid on the gas for SodaStream, it's okay. Right. And now the SodaStream, mate, the SodaStream, it looks really quite futuristic. It fits in with all your nice, like, dark appliances and stuff in your kitchen. So anyway, going back to the drink of the week, right? So we've got the SodaStream, we've got the gas. Now, of course, with SodaStream, why I thought it was good is that we want to be as healthy as possible, right? But we're all partial to a fizzy drink. And I still have a Diet Coke and a Coke Zero and up. Yeah. But with SodaStream, you can have a fizzy drink and it's literally just the fizzy water, and you can have a little bit cordial, sugar-free cordial, whatever you want in it. So you're not getting all the aspartame, all that kind of stuff that like you might get with like diet drinks or whatever. Now, this Miranda, this is actually for SodaStream. It's orange flavor Miranda. It's not the best for you, like as in like I think there's a few additives in it, but it is sugar-free and it's 0 calories as well.
Okay.
Do you know that this Miranda brand is over 50 years old now? It's been going from Spain from over 50 years old. I think it's something like 67 years old, and it's still going. It's still being made for SodaStream, and I think Miranda does a lot of different flavors specifically for you. Only need a tiny, with cordial, you need like a little bit of a.
So it's literally just adding a little dash of that.
So you go to your SodaStream, you fizz up your water, you add in a little bit of Miranda 0 sugar orange flavor specifically for SodaStream. There you go. You got your fizzy orange, and that is your drink of the week.
Mate, I'm loving the retro drink of the week.
Retro drink of the week. There we go. Miranda orange by SodaStream, and it honestly, and you have it, and you're like, and you know what the good thing about it is, it's fun as well. You put the bottle in, it goes. It's really
it's like
good.
Being back in chemistry, isn't it?
And I've got it right here. I'm going to take a little taste.
Oh, I wonder what that was. I thought, is it Barocca or no? Lovely.
It looks like a Barocca, but it is. Yeah. So get Miranda brand for SodaStream. That's our drink of the week this week. Lovely and refreshing, really tasty. And but as I said, you don't have to use the Miranda flavors. You can obviously add, your Robinson's cordial to it as well. Get a nice fizzy, refreshing drink. There you go. Drink of the week this week, Ben.
Perfect. Well, it's been a busy old day. It's so nice to end the day, Rich, on a lovely chat with you and back on home soil. We're going to be back in the studio soon and looking forward to that. But yeah, it's just been another lovely episode. And honestly, well done, pal. Enjoy being home. Get that flat pack out as well.
Mate, get that flat pack furniture. And then, and obviously we talked earlier on in the episode, didn't we, about social media and kind of just, take what you need from it. So, and, don't believe everyone's happiness. That being said, please follow us on Instagram at the Sobermen Pod.
And also,
and TikTok.
A quick disclaimer, if you are away in Dublin for a weekend and you see any flying watermelons, it's definitely not me anymore.
Please like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Welcome home, Rich. Have a great week.